day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity with me, Gwen Ravenheart, and Space Pig. As we get on with the task, we've got some people we need to talk to, but I want to talk to the statue first.
Yeah?
I felt Mayor Ward's passing. You slew him.
Several of him, you reply.
It saddens me to hear it. But part of me is grateful to no longer have to wait and worry in darkness. This place has always known its master, long as it's had one. It has a will all its own, which has little to do with the castle and much to do with the land it's built on. It looks to you as Mayor Wald's successor now, whether you care for it or not. A dubious honor, inheriting a fortress both broken and cursed. But in the right hands, it could be so much more. If you had only seen it in its day. Will you stay?
Your stronghold is now available. You can manage your stronghold at any time through the castle icon. What do I want for a ruin? The energy seems to all drain from here. It's your citizen, of course. The keep knows you for its master, all the same. Given time, it could be a place you would be proud of. It only needs a guiding hand. If you truly do mean to continue on, I should mention first that you'll find a road barred to you. The eastern Barbican collapsed decades ago and Melwood never got around to rebuilding it. The road here is a dead end. He got as far as gathering materials before his mind became preoccupied. I could make arrangements to have it repaired if it is your will. When it ceased to be the previous master's will, I became powerless to do anything about it. For what am I but a martyr's instrument? It would take time, but far less than finding another route to Defiance Bay. What do you mean when you said the keep was cursed? You declare. Melwood's curse was his own, a watcher's curse, but his predecessors have not fared better. This place, there is a presence within the keep, or rather beneath it. At least such has been conclusion drawn by all who came to this place, for what spirits still linger in the endless paths often speak of a master below. Every effort to settle here has failed. From the time of our Adrian colonists onwards, beasts rise from the endless paths until a new lord or lady is no more. For one who dwells below, this master does not tolerate rivals, it seems. I have seen from time to time intrepid explorers descend to lay claim to answers they can, but none return. This is the force which has kept Cadnoa a barren ruin and robbed me of my hopes. The endless path, that, my friend, is where I must go, where we must go, if you will go with me, whatever devil's lies beneath. Think too what knowledge we'd find. Perhaps this master speaks of Adrian. What is the endless path, you declare? The endless path is the paths of Odd-Nu. That is the name given to the labyrinth beneath the keep. The Earl, we were warned by the Glenfathans that the site was cursed, and there's a legend attached to it, though at the time we thought nothing of it. The ruins were built, it said, to be by a powerful Egwithan named Odd-Nu, who ruled there until his people turned against him. They destroyed his endless paths and filled many of the upper tunnels with soil and stone. No one living knows how far down the tunnel stretched, and few who ventured there have returned. There's much of talk and riches and treasure. The promise of Egwithan relics along has drove many fortune seekers to their deaths, I fear. Who is this master below? I could not say with any certainty. I believe it must be tied to the man said to have been the architect of the endless past, the Egwithan tyrant Odd-Nu. Some claim his spirit endures, or at least has laid a curse upon the site. I cannot imagine much remains of his work, for the ruins have been here 1,000 years or more, but what is left is impressive. The Earl certainly thought so. You may have seen, while below the hand of a giant statue of Odd-Nu constructed, perhaps such a statue of Odd-Nu himself. But am I not the master of Cadnoa? Of course you are. That keep would have no other, but the endless paths are a different thing entirely. It is unfortunate, really, that they are so closely intertwined. If the master below is not dealt with, there will always be a threat to the keep from within. I know it is much to take in, but if you would remain, you would be master of this place, and I can only advise you seek out this foe before it destroys you. I have other questions. What does being the master of Cadnoa entail? There are many more responsibilities involved in maintaining the keep. The extent to which you wish to get involved is entirely up to you. Of course, part of the reason I am here is to ensure that things run smoothly in your absence, providing we have been given instructions. If you instruct me on which repairs you wish to conduct next, I will make the necessary arrangements. They may take some time to finish, but each will provide you with additional resources once they are complete. Given somewhere to place them, we can hire tradesmen to provide you with supplies or ingredients. Ah, that's useful. Repairing your keep will raise your prestige and draw both hopeful individuals and unwelcome attention from bandits and opportunists. If you wish to raise the keep's security, in turn, they will become less of a concern. I am certain you are more than up to the task. How do I repair the Barbican? Mel would set aside materials for the Barbican and was still available to you in the future. If you wish to make further repairs to the keep, you need coin to supplies and labour. Time to leave the city for the Defiance Bay. You must know this queen you look for. The Defiance Bay has no queen. The Maywans of Adria haven't reigned for here since the war. The only queen with any power is that of Woodica. I am told they erected an exquisite temple to her honour there, but I have never been able to see it. If you mean to go over, we can get started right away on repairing the Barbican. You need only tell me what we wish to do, and I will make the necessary arrangements. Mailward kept a ledger as it happens, and I have taken the liberty of updating it. You can take a look if you wish. Let's see what we can do. Then we'll get you underway at once. The steward voiced Bale's a giddy excitement. Now, my lord, this is but the first and least of a great many undertakings. The keep supports many great buildings and servants for many years. If you should wish it, we can repair some of the outlying structures, and they will bring you wealth and recognition, drawing people to your service. Rebuilding the defences will keep your grounds from becoming overrun, as it did under Mayor Wode's keeping. You need no choose all at once. I am pledged to your aid, so long as you are master here. We shall always be linked. You need not step upon these grounds to speak with me. Wherever you travel may take you, you can make your will known to me, and we will put if you but reach out. But first, of course, the Barbican. Okay. Eastern Barbican. So what's this? Gives us 1 fame and 2 security, I suppose. Upgrading your stronghold costs money and takes time to complete. Each upgrade can add security or prestige to the stronghold and add additional functions like resting bonuses, periodic free craft ingredients, and new stores. So what can we get? Oh, there's a lot of stuff. Oh, a lot of stuff. Right, first we need to get the Eastern Barbican. The Eastern Barbican gateway passes to the Woodland Plains, the crossroads between Cad Noir, the Deerwood, and Defiance Bay. But probably what we need to do is you'll probably need to get the Western Barbican and the Eastern Barbican and the Western Barbican. The Western Barbican passes to Vale is coming across the Isometric River. Yeah, we'll need to get both of these repaired before we do anything else, because this will up our security. Our security at the moment is 0, our prestige is 0. So we'll purchase that. We can't get that until we get the main keep. Okay. The main keep, how much is that? That's 1,400 copper bits and takes 3 days. Upgrade the main keep, repair your great hall, allowing visitors and adventurers allowing visitors and adventurers to be available to you and your companions. Yeah, we need to get that as well. Right. Once we get that done, we'll have to make the West Barbican secure so we can upgrade our security. We've got 2, yeah. Actions. Events occur at the stronghold as time ellipses. The higher your stronghold's prestige, the more positive the events tend to be. However, higher security is also important as it can help prevent theft and kidnappings. Adventurers are opportunities for your companions and adventurers to earn experience while they aren't in your party. Visitors can affect security and prestige a stronghold while they are present. Some events even offer rare items. Oh, so that's interesting. So when they're not in our party, we can send people off to do stuff. Upgrades. Hirelings. Party management. Hireling can help defend your stronghold from expensive collateral damage in unfortunate events of an attack. It costs money to maintain, but this cost is usually offset by potential for damage. Hirelings also contribute to security and prestige of the stronghold. Ah, that's cool. That's good to know. That's our journal. Eastern Barbican constructed is completed, and the main keep is being constructed as we speak. Right.
Just say the word.
Explore the endless past, the master below. We need to go to Woodiker. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Stairs upwards as well. Some creatures and armor types, especially resistant to or vulnerable to different kinds of damage, right? Something has made a nest out of the old straw and mattress, and the mattresses tickle. Right, okay. So there's nothing here, but basically sleeping places. This looks like a place for guards. It feels as if cobwebs are the only thing that are holding this rickety old mess together. Right. There are people that have stories. Ken wants to talk to you. Ilof wants to talk to you. Ida wants to talk to you. Well, let's get out on the road first. I'm going to go back to see where we go from there. Oh, actually, I want to see the Barbican being... see, this is the Barbican down here, then it's fixed. Yeah, there we go. It's all top and repaired. I like the fact that this stuff like gets repaired when you pay money for it. It looks nice. We need to get the keep updated, and we will need to get the Western Barbican fixed before we do anything else, so we can at least have a secure entrance and exit into the fortress. It's going to cost us a lot of money, though. Let's get outside.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Right, I'm going to go back to Gilded Vale. It will take me 1 day. 1 day of travelling. An attack was imminent, but your patrol staved off the enemy. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Man, that's worrisome. Okay, an attack was imminent. So bandits were lurking around, were they? That's not good to know. Right, we need to get up to the mill, which is up here. Got to sprint it, just because we've been here before. We're not going to attack anyone, not yet anyway. Right. Talk to the mill owner. If he lies to me, I'll kill him.
Hail and well night.
You're back. Have you had any luck with Sinward? I spoke with Swinner. And what did he say? I convinced him to leave your family in peace. Why? That's great news. I wasn't sure you'd get through to him. They're out of my mind with drink half the time. I owe you great here. He pulls a coin purse from his hip and pushes it towards you. Today's earnings to show my appreciation, and you can be sure I'll let everyone know you've done for me. That's really all you can afford after I saved your family. Let's go with that one. No, of course not. That's fair. Here I saved you just in case. Well, we will. Here it is anyway. We don't need it now. Right. Now stand the chance of getting through the year. Temple smells broadly. All thanks to you. Safe travels, friends. Right. So we completed that. Let's see how that's affected our... We got... Was it clever? As long as we don't get any more benevolent or diplomatic. They prefer cruel and aggressive. Right. So that's done.
Just say the word.
You can change how many metagame information is displayed. Right, yeah.
I'm on it.
Right, so let's see if our reputation... Hero moderately good. Well, Gilda's not evil. She's just ruthless. Like, she's a war paladin. Right, we've got people we need to talk to, so we need to talk to him first. Eda wants to talk to you.
That old watcher. I don't know what I expected, but it sure wasn't that.
He shakes his head and chuckles. You said you had some things you wanted to ask him.
Nah, it's kind of embarrassing now. I just got a dumb idea in my head is all. Don't know why I thought it'd work. It's funny. That's probably the first thing I got my hopes up for in, I don't know, years. At least I got that out of it.
You were going to ask him in front of me anyway, you may as well tell me now.
All right. Guess fair is fair, and you did bring me to see him. Those rumors back in Gilded Vale about my brother, Woden, about how he'd turned against us and fought for Icewind, been on my mind for some time now. The thing about Woden was, he always knew what was right, and that's what he'd do. One day he set out to fight for Deerwood against a man claiming to be our god. So I knew that's what I had to do too. It was right. But hearing claims that he died fighting for Rhea Ceres, that got me worried. Not that he'd chosen the wrong side, but that I had. Didn't seem right what Icewind had in store, but if he really was Aethys...
He shakes his head.
I thought, maybe this old Watcher would know how my brother died. So I could see if it was true. Like he could, I don't know, read it in my soul or something. Use our connection. Told you it was dumb.
I don't think it works quite that way, you reply. Well, we can now say, why didn't you ask me for help? I don't think it works quite that way. You're right, you should be embarrassed. That, I don't think Gwen would say that. I think she'd definitely say, I don't think it works quite that way.
Of course, I knew the truth deep down. Watcher's not psychic. I think I just had this idea, and the idea made me feel a certain way, and I didn't want to lose that.
Really, if I wanted to find out about my brother, I shouldn't be starting with watches, I should be starting with records. So why don't you? It took you 15 years to figure that out. You should prepare there to be no record of your brother. You should be prepared that there would be no record of your brother's death. It took you 15 years to figure that out, you say, yeah? He cracks a smile. It never occurred to me to go looking into it, not until you put some crazy notions about watches in my head. Irdit thinks a moment, his lips twist to one side, he raises an eyebrow. If there was anything written down about it, they'd have it in Defiance Bay. They've got an archive at the palace.
You've done a lot for me already, but if you could see fit to pay that archive a visit with me, well, you know. Knowing my luck, the records clerk will go crazy and try to kill me. I'd feel better with you in there with me.
Party gains 640 experience. Travel with Adir to the records archive. Fragments of scattered faith. Okay, so that's his thing. What does Kana want to speak about?
I confess, I was hoping our meeting with Mayorwald would go a little differently. But then, you have gained an entire keep. I don't think I've seen anyone inherit land that quickly since Kyne the Younger read her father's will.
I don't see much use for this place. You reply. Well, we can do. I did come to the deal with looking for a new home. We haven't got the aristocratic background, so we can't do that. It appears that I am one of the gentry now. I wish I could have gotten through to him. I didn't see much use for this place. Let's go with that.
It will give you a base from which to go searching at least. And then, there are secrets beneath the keep yet. With you at the helm, it should be easier to explore the endless paths.
He grins eagerly. So that's his thing. Alof seems lost in thought. He flinches when you draw near, sucking a sharp breath through his teeth.
What can I do for you?
What can I do for you, Gwen Ravenheart? You've been acting strange. Are you right? You can start by explaining what's going on. Let's go with that one.
I wish I could. But as to walking memories and the old man who can no longer distinguish them from reality, I fear I'm at a loss. And if Mayorwald is to be believed, it would seem you've an uncertain future ahead.
I don't know what to think. He was out of his mind. I don't place stock in the ramblings of a lunatic. There is no point in speculating now. My situation is no more than I realise. We've got to find this Leiden key and fast. He was a monster in his past lives. He got what he deserved. He was out of his mind. I don't place my stock in the ramblings of lunatics. Let's go with that one. The thing is, like, we're a war paladin, so we're not very nice ourselves. So it's been let's go with he was out of his mind. He don't place stock in the ramblings of a lunatic.
Perhaps Defiance Bay holds the answers we need.
Olof snugs his cloak, but his sword is glancing at you out of the corner of his eye. I want to discuss something else. Okay, that's all he has to know. That's all his stuff. I do need to talk to this guy though. Talk to Durance. Thought I'd felt your eyes on me. Now comes the words. I have some questions I want to ask you.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
Oh, I do love his lines. Why were we supposed to meet, you demand? The why of it is you're a watcher, he's not. A watcher runs two roads. Why, for me, it's more a matter of what. There was a time when I wouldn't have spared a thought for your words or even bothered with you, but now seeking out watchers is what I do, to put the truth to them, to see which of the two ways they bend. He smiles slightly tauntingly. Truth? What kind of truth? And what two ways are those? What two ways are those? Either you're a dry field in need of a harvesting burn. He frowns for a moment, his eyes flat. Or you're lost in the darkness. Either way, you can see differently from the others. He gives a half smile, then his tone becomes accusing. I can tell by the way you notice the star first off. Not many can see it at first, not etchings the flames, but your eyes. He stares at you, almost eagerly nodding. Your eyes traced the path, that I can see. So which are you, a dry field or lost in the darkness? Durance's face tenses. The day we don't trade that question back and forth is the day our paths no longer need to be joined, and the trial. Durance's hand clenches his staff. The trial is done. So you're putting me on trial then? You know this nation is diseased, don't need to be a watcher to see it, in the children, the politics, the men that stalk the road with knives in hands and murder in their eyes. This land needs life again, need new seed planted in the burnt soil. His voice drops, mocking, his eyes narrow, and something tells me you can see the path to making that future happen, watcher. Your kind always does. So then, we need to make sure you see truly now, this nation, its people, don't need any more lies to bind them, nor do I. Your test, a truth, you know you don't need to blindly accept it. And what do you plan to test, and how do you plan to test me, you counter? Sharing the road, of course. One truth is a match for another, matches each other's pace, keeping the rhythm. Other priests can keep their teachings and rants for my faith, my teachings. Sharing the road is simple, hard truth. He smiles, widens his hands, tap against his waist, once then twice. When you knock one truth against the leg of another, why both legs stand firm. But now, if you strike a lie at the knee with the same force, his smile dies and his eyes narrow, while you may cripple with but one leg to stand on. You won't find my truth lacking, you reply sharply. The road is young, so are your words. The truth will win out. Keep pace, and we will see. Let me ask you something else.
The cost of troubling me seems to worry you little.
Tell me about Magran. Ah, you know her. You must. He gives a bitter chuckle, then his tone evens out. She's a many-headed bitch. What is your view on Magran?
She's a goddess, as fickle as they come, and with all the failings you'd expect of an empress and a whore. Too many eyes, too many wants, too much to hold on to. That's the failing of a god. More aspects than words to describe her, like most of them. A god with many nations to oversee, only serves to spread herself too thin.
He snorts. Although flame rarely crosses twice, so perhaps that is the only truth she embraces. Who knows? Gods get greedy when it comes to fire. Fire is a god's hunger. What are her aspects? Durance begins counting his fingers, chanting it off. War transforms, fire consumes, trials purify. Warfare, fire consuming, purification, and most of all transforming. Trials as well, but all things are put to test anyway. A trial can consume, purify, and transform. They are all linked, although at the heart of this is the flame, and the flame is what matters. It is the source of all things. Guess they should have started with that, eh? Any fool around a campfire knows that. Without flames, fire, we would have made little progress in the dark. To hear some of the inner fires tell it around the hearth and bellows, even in the halls of Asphalt, you'd think that fire brought life to man, and that the fire was Magran. Some of the older texts say she rubbed her hands together and they burst into flames, or another god shafted her like another god shafted her like a poker. There's different perspectives on her then. He grunts. Mine is only one sight among many. Durance's frowns, pauses, then his eyes take on an eager gleam. But here's one. I can speak to how the losing side sees her, and that should tell you enough. Let me speak to what an Adrian sees. And what does an Adrian see? The Adrians have a proper political translation for her. Excellence in war, tactical discipline. He snorts. That's why they lost their fucking colony, of course. They were probably still quoting that while we had them bent across the desks. All their guns and cannons are fine, but useless when your stuff is crackling lightning into their skulls, dispensing red gifts left and right. Durance's fists tighten and he laughs. Adrians call that evaluation, divine awareness. Those words are as welcome as shit on one's boot, and that's all they took back with them while they were running. He shakes his head. A lesson learnt at the wrong time, almost feel like a pang of sympathy for them. Almost. A lesson? What do you mean? The trial of a god isn't knowing a god, adhering to words rather than walking the path, testing yourself in the heart of it. Walk until the words are stripped away and you'll feel it burning in your heart. That is the lesson. That Adrian politeness, that pretty appearance to the word of scripture as they saw it, that burned their ships, scarred them, kept them running throughout the Deerwood campaign. He snorts divine awareness. There is no true faith in waiting to be tested. The best in battle have already sit themselves plenty, sit themselves until they are dry and can focus on killing. Enough about Magron, I have other questions.
I suspect the answers will seed more questions.
I want to know more about you. He grunts. Where are you from?
Where I hail from? From one of Magron's fires. A cathedral. Ashfall. Made of blackened trees. I studied the scriptures there. The fires carved into the land. The trunks of the burnt trees. And in the factories where the rifles and cartridges were shaped. All are chapels in other devotions.
Other devotions? For Magron, any fire is enough for worship, physical or not. A blacksmith's anvil, a craftsman's bench, all arenas where fire is waiting to be born. He snapped his fingers. It just needs a spark, like an alchemical fire, or to spark a cartridge to speed them on to their purpose. Their purpose? Durance tilted his head, thinking, well, their purpose then. It was many thens ago. Durance scratched his beard. A beard was a little brighter than now. But yes, cartridges, guns, all have a purpose, and that purpose was to puncturing holes in mages and letting their pompous air hiss out. Durance gives a half smile, then a nod, woke their kind right up, kept them staring at the ceilings in the darkness and sleeping, that's for certain. Elof rose his eyes, pompous air indeed. A little violence has an accounting, an answer for unchecked power. Well, Magron gave an answer for that. Magron put soldiers and mages on equal footing. Durance nods again. Mages were troublesome in that time. Firearms made every man a mage, and a caster's pretty arcane shield was a little match for them. It turned each commoner into a beast that could spit fire. It levelled the field of battle, that's for certain. Made many a mage a grave. Yeah, that's interesting. I think that's going to be all for now. We'll pick up a bit more of his history later. I don't want to spend all my time listening to his stories. So let's press on. I need to get some rest as well. I also know there's this place, which we haven't been into. I do need to sleep. My guys are hurt. I need to buy supplies as well. When targeting an attack, the percentage next to the potential target indicates a chance of scoring a hit or crit. Right. Let's go and talk to the owner.
Hello.
The innkeeper smiles brightly to you. Hello again. Can I get you to rest your feet a while? What do you have for sale? Right, what do I need to buy? I do need some, yeah, I definitely need some camp supplies. Right, what are we going to trade in response? Clothing. Right, there we go. So we've got some supplies. They have food here as well, which is nice. Might not buy anything yet. I need to get the rest first, though. Just a cheap bed will do. And we settle in for a nice quiet night. Right, so
Just say the word.
That's done. Out the door we go. It's almost night time. Some of the people are held in your stronghold. Right.
Leave it to me.
How it goes to keep? 2 days. Finished in 1 day and 18 hours. Okay, so once that's done, we have fairly good security, and I really probably need to build a Bailey as well. This is the problem. The thing is that when we upgrade the Barbican, we won't have upgraded the walls, so our walls are going to be absolutely terrible, and they're really expensive. But we probably need to, for anything else, we probably need to build a barracks, just so... There's so much useful stuff. So much useful stuff. Right, okay. My zealous focus is still on. Where's the ruins? Because I wanted to go down into these ruins and check out what was going on. Both the central HUD and combat log can be missed to explore the world with only the characters' portraits visible. And that's good to know.
I haven't been in here for, must be 5, 6 years. Used to be real nice. Bright. Warm.
Guy's asking for help. Please help me. Wharton, a man lies resting against the wall, lit by a dim illumination of the fading sconces. He was a gaunt, fox-like aspect. His face is pale and damp with sweat. One arm is held loosely against his sleeve soaked with blood. He gives you an anxious glance as you near, his face twisted with pain.
Hello.
Oh, he's a godlike. Thought you were some. Never mind. Whoever you are, you've travelled a long way to reach this place. This temple isn't what it used to be, probably for the best, times being as they are. He groaned and shifted his position, wincing. I'm no looter, if that's what you're thinking. Not one of the faithful either, just wanted to do some good, I suppose. Got my arm clawed up for it. He regards you warily. Maybe you'll have better luck. Better luck at what, you snap? The man points finger upwards. These ruins around us used to be the temple at Eophas, the scattered god, a grand temple at that. His worshippers would come from all over the Deerwood, from Redaras even. Not so much from Redaras these days. Redsaras these days. Until the war, of course, even then, we've got some of the stubborn... Even then, you've got some of those stubborn ones. The ones that can't get it through their heads that their god is dead and gone. Eophas, that's what we need to be with religion. Go on, get to the point. Is this really time for a history lesson? Get to the point, you snap. As you like. Once the legacy started, Lord Rederick decided he'd been too lenient on the Eophians. He had his people go in and put them all to the sword, left them down here buried under a heap of rock. Heretics or not, their deaths didn't stop the legacy, didn't do much of anything at all. They didn't deserve to go like that, chopped down in their god's house. Actually, that is pretty damn bad. Murdering anybody in a temple is really bad. Like, historically, like, it was seen as a massive taboo. If you can get down there, find the remains, maybe you can finally give them a proper burial. Witten breathes out, no small talk, no small task. There's coin in it for you if you need the motivation. Eoluf, of course, expresses softens. A pleasant surprise to see that someone around here has a set of respect for the dead. I'll find them. I take it you weren't supposed to be here. They're long dead. What does it matter that they're buried? Wait, you want me to bury some skeletons? I have questions first. They're long dead. Why does it matter if they're buried? It's about respect, isn't it? About deserving to be remembered, not just tossed under a pile of rocks and forgotten. He breathed shakily. I thought it worth the effort to give that to them. Wait, you want me to bring you some skeletons? I'll bury them where they are if I could. I know it's a little macabre, but if we don't get them out now, Redrick's liable to destroy whatever's left of them. I take it that you weren't supposed to be here. Wharton laughs bleakly. Well, I meant to be in and out, nice and quick. I'm not hurting anyone. It's just Lord Redrick's forbidden anyone having anything to do with the scattered god. It's a little harder to explain to him than you. It's a good cause, though, isn't it? And you could make some coin in the process. I have some questions first, you demand. Why can't you do this yourself? Well, I tried. Only got a short way in there before I got in over my head. Wharton grimaces. Haven't raised a blade in a long time. Turns out it isn't something you can just pick up again. But you look like you can handle yourself. Who are you anyway? You interrupt. Witten offers you a weak grin. Name's Witten. I lived in Gilded Vale long enough to remember how grand it used to be. He shrugs and looks away. I used to help the temple sometimes bring supplies, that's all. Yeah, I think he's lying about that. Won't Lord Roderick mind us digging around down here? I won't go telling him about it. Lingering in these places is not good for anyone. But you do with this quick and quiet, and we can do right by the priest without raising a fuss. Any chance there's something down here that's worth a little more than some old bones? Witten looks around. Probably. No one's been through this place since it was sealed up. Well, apart from me, I didn't touch anything valuable in there. You get first crack at them. I only ask that you do this a favour for me while you're at it. I have no more questions. I'll find them. Leave, I'm not interested. Well, we'll take the job. Then by the flame I owe you a good turn. But listen, the temple's been sealed off for so long it's crawling with creatures. But if you get past them, the priests would have been down on the lower floor. They'll be there still, if they're anywhere. Those priests have all kinds of secret chambers, switches in the walls, trick sconces, that kind of thing. Keep an eye out and take care down there. I don't want to have to send someone else after your remains. I'll wait here by the stairs and keep a lookout, maybe try and patch myself up some. Wait, if you're going in anyway, please, we'd insist to try and look at you from his position against the wall. I need your help. Back when this was an Eophisan temple, Lord Roderick, but he had the priest here killed, thought they'd be doing something to cause the legacy. He had a temple sealed up so nobody else could follow in their steps, but it meant that they'd been buried down there all this time. Heretics or not, their deaths don't stop the legacy, don't do much of anything at all. They didn't deserve to go like that, chopped down in their god's house. Yeah, okay. I'll find them, fine. Right, okay. Right, okay, so that's basically just the story thing looped again.
Yeah.
Right, so we have another mission. Buried secrets. Lord Redrick Redrick has decided to re-educate Gilded Vale's abandoned Ephra's temple to rededicate Gilded Vale's abandoned temple of Eorfin, Gilded Vale's abandoned Eorfin temple to a new deity. The entrance to the temple has been cleared, allowing entry for the first time in many years. Inside the temple you encounter a man called Witten who wishes for you to search the ruins for the remains of the Euphuesian priests. He tells me Redrick's guards slaughtered them years ago. Witten mentioned that the temple is full of secret compartments and that I'd likely find the remains on the lowest floor of the temple. Witten also warned me, however, that the temple has been infested with spiders and skulder. Okay. Well, this seems like a good place to stop. I've been Cornish-Knight. This has been Pillars of Eternity, as Gwen, Ravenheart and Space Pig dive deeper into the ruins of a fallen god. And let's see what we can find beneath. I will see you all next time. Goodbye, folks.